Who is the captain of your ship? Who is the captain of your ship? Who is in charge of your navigational tools? Do you have sufficient fuel to ensure you reach your destination on time, on schedule, and safely? Are you ready in the unlikely event that there are storms and waves as you sail your ship on your voyage? Do you have adequate food and nutritional requirements for you and your crew? Do you follow a well-defined route with the best prospects of reaching your destination? Any person embarking on a voyage in life or through the seas and oceans must reflect on these questions and answer them before embarking on the journey. Which pilot will you trust? The pilot who has never received any training and taking the first lesson whilst on board, how would you feel? Panic and fright. In contrast, imagine you are in a plane with 30 years of experience, with millions of miles. The pilot. You will put complete trust in the pilot together with their crew. Never trust the captain who has never taken any education from the school of storms. I have a couple of questions for you. What are their beliefs about other people's judgment and keeping brilliant people from being great opinions? Society, people, and education all have a normalizing effect on people, which is harmful to all who are brilliant and those who feel different. This is a guide on how to care less about other people's judgment without becoming nihilistic and to become more in control of your well-being. Inner fulfillment is better than external validation. Human beings need each other, and we are better together than if we were in isolation. Undoubtedly, every individual is one piece of a greater whole, humanity itself. No person is an island entirely. Every person is has a place in the continent, a part of the main planet we call Earth. So you are connected to a whole now more than ever. Almost everything you eat or enjoy will not be available if you try to be self-sustainable. But we often let the line blur between ourselves and others. When do you feel good about yourself or get a kick? Many reasons rely on other people. If other people make you happy, that might be fine. But if the absence of external verification and validation makes you worry and doubt or harbor even darker thoughts, you are holding the rule book of the game of life upside down. You should try to be in the driver's seat. Do not let fear drive your actions and cause. On the flip side, what is the best case scenario? How likely is it that these best case scenarios occur? Give yourself the freedom to imagine a glorious future and have fun while at it. Write all the desirable outcomes that could happen if you take the risk now that you have processed your fears. The great Maya Angelou reminds us that courage is the most important of all the virtues because without courage, you can't practice any other virtue consistently. One thing every day that scares you. It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. You can live in the now, striving towards things or trying to avoid things. Living life will not make life better, even with fear itself. Fear It's even worse if something is usually worse than the matter itself. That fear also stretches over a far longer time than the unhappiness of the possible lousy experience itself. When you know what you fear, it no longer controls you. You protect your property, but not your mind. You might be poor and your shoes might have holes. Know that your mind is a palace. Biology gives you a brain. Life turns it into a mind. I bet you have a lock on your door and a bike, and you have insurance, and are gentle around precious objects you own. The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. You will not invite angry strangers to your bedroom. If something makes you angry, sad, or fearful online, do less and avoid it. But you let everyone online get to your mind and create havoc. My general rule of thumb is to decide if to fix, ignore, or accept. I never regretted not doing something or saying no, but more often when I did go, I said yes or added another thing to my to do list or schedule. Change your fear of missing out to the joy of missing out. As the great Roy T. Bennett once said, and I quote, the most enormous wall you have to climb is the one you build in your mind. Never let your mind talk you out of your dreams, trick you into giving up. Never let your mind become the greatest obstacle to success. To get your mind on the right track, the rest will follow. Be the great person in the movie. The key ingredients that make a movie good are when the acting, directing, writing, cinematography, and overall production value all come together to tell one cohesive, entertaining, and impactful story. In essence, a good movie uses all these filmmaking tools to tell a compelling story that makes you feel good. Figuring out who you are, what you think, and what parts of your emotional compass you should trust is something I believe few master. And it may be hard to swallow. What will Jesus do if you are secular? So, how does one get a North Star or guidance? My favorite track is to imagine life being a movie. You are a fantastic character. When in doubt, you ask yourself, what will Mr. Daisy do? The person who does the right thing, or whatever your name is in your movie. Remember, you set the bar. Emulate a single player game. When creating things, try to believe that life is a single player game. Everyone you will interact with is a non player character. Be nice to them, but do not let their opinions kill you. Write blog posts for yourself. Instagram to remember beautiful moments. Pick up digital garbage because you want to live in a better world. If someone bashes you online, they play another game with other rules and either accept that or avoid them. The same applies to buying things. You do not need any object to make other people like you. Most purchases give the same short rush as a joint, drink, or like. Do not pollute. Even if other people do not exist for you to become happy, you cannot mistreat them. People tend to be generous when sharing nonsense, fear, and ignorance. And while they seem pretty eager to feed you their negativity, please remember that sometimes the diet we need to be on is spiritual and emotional. So be cautious. with what you feed your mind and soul. Fuel yourself with positivity and let that fuel propel you into positive action. Benjamin Franklin had a fantastic method to solve this. He wrote angry letters to people he disagreed with, but never posted them. Sometimes life feels like a mirror. You will get it back if you send out anger. Same with fear. Same with envy. Being yourself and your best version will attract people who like the real you. Run a dashboard, not a leaderboard. It is too easy to compare yourself to non-player characters or even dead people. If Mozart did most of the great work at a younger age does not mean you will not be worthy of a good life past that age. We tend to pick the best of other people. Dare like Amelia Earhart. Invest like Warren Buffett. Run like Usain Bolt. And play soccer like Jomo Sono or Teenage Dada. Or love like Mother Teresa. Invent like Elon Musk. And play chess like Deep Blue. But you must be all of them, not just their best trade. Other people are not competitors, combatants, or verifiers. So be the best yourself and run the dashboard against yourself. Never be a victim. This is a bit heavy to swallow. You are not a victim. No matter what you have been through, you are still here. You may have been challenged, hacked, betrayed, beaten, and discouraged, but nothing has defeated you. You are still here. You have been delayed but not denied. You are not a victim. You are a victor. You have a history of victory. When someone hurts you, remember Hanlon's razor. And I quote, never attribute to malaise that which is adequately explained by stupidity, or don't assume bad intentions over neglect and misunderstanding. When people say bad things, do not invite you, do not credit you, or ignore you. It is not because they want you ill. These people might have their ghosts, fears, worries, or not just the time to put in the effort to be excellent. Decide who is worthy. If you will not follow someone's advice, why should their critique hurt you? As a victim, you are paralyzed, but you can make life better. As an actor, you are the only one looking after yourself. Engaging in a self-care routine is clinically proven to reduce or eliminate anxiety and depression. Engaging in self-care also reduces stress, improves concentration, minimizes frustration and anger, increases happiness, improves energy, and more. Your parent, spouse, friends, and everyone else might want you well, but you cannot depend on them to make you happy. As the great Steve Jobs once said, and I quote, everything around you is made by other people just like you, close quote. I will say that you make everything inside you. It is your choice to get insulted. It is your choice to overreact. You cannot control what happens to you, only how you react. While you cannot control how people treat you, you can control how you react. How others act is their problem. How you react is yours. I'm not saying you should not care about others' joy, respecting others' time and attention, or that you should isolate or insulate yourself. The golden rule is gilded for a reason. Life's most complicated part is being the captain of your ship, the master of your mood, and the director of your own goals. The goal is to switch from getting dopamine or adrenaline from other people to getting oxytocin and serotonin. 9 ways to prepare for a long distance journey by sea are as follows. One way to prepare is a planning routine. The second one is food and energy. Next one is mapping, contingency plan, motion sickness cues, survival skills, scientific skills, be a handyman or woman, checklist. And one way to prepare is by planning an outline, which is the first one. Planning allows you to prepare for meetings, events, and tasks before they are due. And you need to work smart. It may seem like a waste of time, but preparation can make the difference between being productive and just being tired. Outline the start point to the end point. Decide to stay close to the shores or offshores. Do not try to go alone if on a long distance journey. Planning way ahead of your stops. Think about whether you want to spend the night on land somewhere or take a break while traveling or not. Consult with expert anglers. Food supply. The food supply chain plays a key role in making sure that the food we eat reach our mouths safely. It is an elaborate system required by the global community to maintain food safety, sustainability, and security. Yes, you will require plenty of nutrition while traveling this long distance away from land. It will be best if you had a lot of fresh food supply. Some of the common things which people notice and are valuable are canned foods, fresh food from the ocean. It is essential to check if the fish has not eaten plastic. It has been seen that fishes in the sea also might have eaten plastic due to us disposing of plastic waste in the ocean. Secondly, you will need a refresher pump. At least learn to produce fresh water in case of breakdown. Now, it is time to explain the benefit of having a plastic sheet with you. If you do not have anything around, you can use it this way. Other than a plastic sheet, it helps you make seawater turn into fresh water. Let you survive for a while and not affect you that badly due to dehydration. Remember, never drink salt water as it can dehydrate you. Most of those listening to the masterclass already know of this. But if there is someone who did not know, I thought it will help. Mapping a process map outlines the individual steps within a process, identifying tasks, owners, and detailing expected timelines. They are particularly helpful in communicating processes among stakeholders and revealing areas of improvement. Most process maps start at a macro level and then provide more detailed as necessary. Process maps help to gain insight into how processes work and also how well they work. When a process has been mapped out, it is easier to see where issues can occur, where time and effort is being needlessly wasted, and where changes might be made to improve the process. Why is mapping processes important? Process maps help to gain insight into how processes work and also how well they work. When a process has been mapped out, it is easier to see where issues can occur, where time and effort is being needlessly wasted, and where changes might be made to improve the process. Mapping or knowing the map of where you are going is critical. have a different version of the maps with you. If you are on a fishing boat, chances are you might be already having a chart plotter or a GPS tracker like Lawrence and Ray's marine chart plotters. Contingency plan. A contingency plan is a course of action designed to help an organization respond effectively to a significant future incident, event, or situation that may or may not happen. The purpose of a contingency plan is to allow an organization to return to its daily operations as quickly as possible after an unforeseen event. The contingency plan protects resources, minimizes customer inconvenience, and identifies key staff, assigning specific responsibilities in the context of the recovery. What will be your backup plan while on a journey in the sea or in the ocean? It will help if you let people know that you will be on a long distance trip by sea. It is best to register with the coastal service and get their advice when you are nearby so they know accidents do happen. And for that, you need to be prepared. Long distance journeys by sea have lots of aspects to them. Nothing good in this world is easy. For every fantastic thing, hard work is required. The point is always to plan and have a contingency plan in mind. Do keep in mind their local laws and how to ask for help. Find out how you can ask for help in that place. Absolutely must is that you need to know where the nearest locations are to call for help. How long will it take? In such instances, some good chart plotters help. Accidents do happen on board. People do not plan on that, but being prepared is better. As the saying goes, and I quote, prevention is better than cure, close quote. I urge you to learn to swim if you are thinking of long distance travel by sea. In this case, I may say by oceans. It is quite an experience when you cross two oceans. One is cold water and the other is warm water. This is where the weather also changes. A substitute for the GPS trackers, since most of us have smartphones nowadays and mobile phones have GPS too. However, having a phone will sometimes be difficult to track where you want to go and where you are currently, and must rely on the phone signal while searching for the GPS trackers and trying to find out where we can have a phone signal in the sea or an ocean. I came across this here. Apart from having a paper or plastic print of the map, you need an app called Navionics. Navionics app is good when you do not have a phone signal too. Downloading the app and area 2 helps. Having a pre-download of the site, you do not have to worry about loading with movements as it can be convenient. This is useful. It is perfect as it also helps and lets you know the time it takes to reach your destination area. What do you need to know when you move from one season to another whilst on board a fishing boat? Do not underestimate this part. You may be caught by surprise if you do not know this part of planning. Know what kind of weather you will be facing. Does that part of the ocean get hurricanes? Motion sickness cures motion sickness is feeling sick when traveling by car, boat, plane, or train. you can do things to prevent motion sickness or relieve the symptoms. Motion sickness is quite common in fishing, and most anglers of both men know it. There is plenty of local remedies they suggest, and it works for them. The best treatment to avoid motion sickness: avoid beer or alcohol drinks. Do not concentrate and lock down in the seabed. Have good enough rest before going for a sea trip. Make your stomach full but not overeat. Hydrate yourself. Keep motion sickness medicine, but you should not cause you drowsiness. Survival skills. Why is it important for you to master the survival skills? The survival skills are meant to provide basic necessities for the sustenance of human life, such as water, food, shelter, and so on. Apart from raising our children on the values of right and wrong, we also need to consider incorporating basic survival skills in their upbringing. Survival skills are a key to reaching your destination safely to a great extent. What will you do if there's a hurricane while you are in an ocean? It could be terrifying, but knowing what the right thing to do can make or break your entire journey. Your survival skill will play a significant role in surviving the situation if you happen to land on an island or an isolated place and stay in an unexpected case when you are in the sea. Scientific skills helps. Why is having scientific skills one of the best strategies to have in your professional journey? Well, individuals need to think creatively and to be able to use their scientific process skills in order to develop a fundamental scientific understanding. And creative scientists are required to find useful and new solutions for the problems existing in daily life. By scientific skill, I mean you need to be in it. You need to know when and how the ocean currents are and which directions they usually move in or out. It is helpful in situations. You need to have this skill of reading the signs within the maps also. Having equipment and knowing how to utilize it are two different things. I hope you now know what I mean. Lastly, always stay updated with this related information of traveling by seas and oceans, the weather conditions, and how to get connected to the coastal emergency services. Many sailors from the sea, from the east, do not know about the storms of the western waters. Be a handyman or woman. Ability to safely use common power and hand tools is key for any person who wants to navigate the storms of life. Handyman and handywoman will provide you with a convenient service that will be done quickly and efficiently. A handyman is great experience in performing a wide variety of tasks and repairs. This means that hiring a handyman will be able to do the work much faster and more efficiently than you could do yourself. This is going to be helping you to repair your boat or engine. If you are okay with it, I may say you do not have a choice but to learn to be a handyman. If you want to travel by boat or a long distance journey, many things can go wrong. And if you are too lazy or did not learn to do your job and repair simple things, at least then it is of no use. Minor problems can also turn into huge ones if you do not do anything about them. Captains have checklists and systematic routine from onboarding to offboarding. The captain of a ship can run a great ship but cannot do anything about the tides. But the manifesto of the captains, it's a checklist that they can go through after preparing everything they need. This makes you more organized, and this way you do not forget as you prepare for the other things. Good checklists are precise, they are efficient, to the point, and easy to use even in the most difficult situations. They do not try to spell out everything. A checklist cannot fly a plane. Instead, they provide reminders of only the most critical and important steps, the ones that even the highly skilled professional using them could miss. Good checklists are above all practical. Thank you for listening and watching to this masterclass. In order for you to master the content of this masterclass, watch the masterclass once a day for the next 30 days. Your awareness will increase with each listening. Reflect on the content of this masterclass and write the key messages in your own words. To sharpen your mind, listen and watch this masterclass once a day for 30 days. Your level of understanding and awareness will amaze you. Yours, Dr. Masasikani Mishakosa, Director of the Fresh Thinking Business School, the Thinking Futurist. Thank you.